Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. I hope that the sound and the lighting and all of the situation is okay. It's going to be a little sketchy. You know, I'm just kind of getting settled into this new place. I'm actually filming this in the master bedroom of my new house, and I will be filming the next video probably in the comic room. It's just right now things are a little bit sketchy. I've just started getting organized, but today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays I try to do my best to answer your questions. So it's been 2 weeks. You guys gave me 2 weeks to kind of get back to answer your questions. The last Q&A video, I really got into ducks. I was showing all the different related ducks, but I missed one duck. And Night Tiger Comics actually commented on my video, and he said, "You forgot a duck. You forgot one of the ducks," and it was Launchpad McDuck. And Launchpad McDuck is I think he's in DuckTales or one of the Scrooge, the Scrooge related series, DuckTales. So he's a kind of a major character. So I should have mentioned him. He was first in a French magazine comic called Picsou 193. That's where he made his first appearance. And it's actually a pretty hard comic to find. It was from 1988. So if you find it, it's first appearance of Launchpad McDuck. Okay, now let's get into some of the other questions. Comic Book Ninja asked me, can you do a video on your move? Well, actually I kind of did, where I showed it in parts. What I couldn't really do the time lapse because it was just too chaotic. It was just too much involved. What I did do though was I took Instagram photos of before and after. And I took, so if you check out my Instagram, I actually show a little bit about how the comic room looked after everything was pulled out. And I did a live stream 2 days ago on Monday, where I showed, moving in and the state of the comic room. The state of the comic room was horrendous, actually. It was like 150 boxes shoved into a room randomly so. And I've since organized it a bit so that at least there's space to walk around. That's a big plus, but it's in this sort of state. So the next video that I do will be on Friday. I'll do a cover challenge this week. It's a very special cover challenge, and that will be filmed in the comic room. It's going to be pretty basic. I don't have any shelving units. I don't have anything set up yet, but I'll try to make it look somewhat presentable. A little better than this. This is pretty bad. But yeah, so that's going to be on Friday. Okay. Joseph Barber also was curious about my move. I think chronicling the move process would be fun and interesting content on dealing with boxing, cataloging, transportation, and redoing your setup. It would be interesting, but it's really hard to film. I don't think I have enough time lapse they would just be like time lapse for like 20 hours of time lapse, even though it'd be like days of me sorting things out, because it's just so as I said, what I'm doing is putting it up on Instagram, little snapshots of it, so you can check that out on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way. So follow me on Instagram. I am trying my best. I really am. I'm not really good at this whole filming thing, to tell you the truth. Like, there's some people that are really good at making time-lapse videos. I'm not one of them. Even though, it's a setting on the iPhone, I could probably do it. It's just, I don't have the time to do it. It's like, it's one of those things where yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's just, I might do, I'll maybe do a future video with a bit of time lapse just for fun. We'll see if it turns out right. It'll probably be just me embarrassing myself by moving things around, and not really anything interesting because I don't have the shelving unit, so I need that to really set it all up. But we'll see. I might do another live stream with another stage of the comic room where it's a little bit more advanced. We'll see. Okay. Merton Bow asked, as you won't be answering this question until a future date, what is your favorite comic cover showing the future? Well, there's actually a really cool one. I don't own it. I'd love to own it. I've actually seen it a couple of times on Heritage auctions. It always goes for some crazy price. But it is a cool comic that it's my favorite future comic. It's called Contact Comics number 12. It's an LB Cole comic. And there's a couple things that I like about it that beyond the cover. So Contact Comics in general was war-related comics. It was like the publisher wanted airplanes and things like that. And LB Cole did a lot of the covers. But LB Cole has this fascination with science fiction. So he somehow snuck in this war-related comic title that's supposed to be only about aviation and airplanes. He snuck in one sci-fi kind of style comic cover. And it's just a really cool cover with kind of LB Cole style coloring. And it's just a really great comic. That's the one I think it's kind of a cool story behind it. And, it's a kind of a cool cover. So that's the one that I would say would be my favorite futuristic kind of comic cover. I mean, there's lots of other ones like Any of the Planet comics or, there's like those kind as well. But I just like the extra little story. So that'd be my choice. Night Tiger Comics wrote again, what's the availability for Anglo-American or Superior or Maple Golden Age comics in Canada? Believe it or not, Golden Age in general is pretty hard to find in Canada. However, there are some vendors in Montreal that I know that do have a fairly large collection of the Canadian whites, which is the Anglo-American ones, and the Bell Features and Maple and all those kind of ones. So they're out there, and it's probably easier than even in the US to get them, but generally it is still hard. Like the Canadian whites are incredibly rare. So even in Canada, they're quite hard to find. But I do know some vendors in Montreal that do have some. So I'm actually like trying to get some from them. They're hard to get though, really hard. So yeah, but maybe slightly easier because it is a Canadian publication to get it in Canada. But I would only say slightly because they're almost impossible to find. One sec here. Oh. I have it on one sec here. I gotta kind of do something weird. There we go. Sorry. I have this very primitive thing set up down below, and it just fell. So, as I'm recording this. Oh man. Wow. This is, as I said, I'm just moving in. Things are a little bit sketchy. Bear with me. I appreciate people even watching this video. Okay, next question, sorry. I really like your love about comics. Oh, this is from Avra Golando? If I mispronounced your name, I'm so sorry. My question is about your collection in general. I know that you have a collection of coins. I was wondering if you could show them to us on a regular basis. Okay, so I have a pretty large coin collection. Actually, when I moved to Ottawa, I took in one carload my whole, actually not even my whole collection. It didn't fit into one carload. It was my SUV, and it filled the entire SUV with coins. So can you imagine? Actually, it's funny, the SUV was riding a little low because of the weight of the coins. And I drove like that for 5 hours, which was very fun. So yeah, so I have this massive coin collection. It right now is in the basement of this house. I generally try to keep this channel non-coin related, but maybe in a future video I will do a coin spotlight, and I'll just show you some of the stuff and some of the key coins that you might want to pick up. I'm mostly a Canadian coin collector. I do have an American collection and British collection, all these kind of other collections, but I do mainly focus on the Canadian side. And I can give you some really cool tips and coins to look out for that you can actually maybe even find still in circulation and that have like intrinsic value. For example, this is quick coin tip for people that want to find cool, rare Canadian coins. There was I believe in 1991, there was a mint strike where there was just some issue at the mint and things were not produced very frequently. So anything from the 1991 series of coins is quite rare, especially the quarter is incredibly rare. I think it's like there's like 400,000 of the 1991 quarters, which is incredibly rare compared to what the quarters are usually kind of one of the more common coins to produce. They typically have mint sizes of like 100 million, or in that 50 to 100 million range. So to have it only 500,000, around, I think it was 400 and something thousand, that is incredibly rare for a coin. But it's a modern coin. It's like a 1991. So if you can find that, it's a great coin to have. Strangely enough, in my collection of the 1991 proof set, I have 2 of them because my mom accidentally ordered doubles that year of the entire coin collection. She would buy me coins every year as a Christmas gift. And just by accident, she ordered double by accident. It just happened to be on the year that there was this weird production strike. So those sets are actually really insanely valuable because, and I have doubles. So it's kind of worked out for my benefit. So yeah, a little bit about Canadian coins. So 1991 quarter, look for that. Okay, next question comes from Matt Blogs. What Marvel and DC comics are in the SOTI, and why are they in there? Okay, so that's actually a great question. So I actually, I have the complete DC SOTI collection, and I'm going to show you finally see some comics. I'm going to show you the entire DC SOTI collection, and I'm actually going to show you the entire Marvel SOTI collection. And if you're not familiar with SOTI, it just means Seduction of the Innocent, and that was a book that was written by Frederick Wortham, regarding comics and how they're having a negative influence on the youth of America and making them into juvenile delinquents and all that kind of stuff. And it led to the Comic Code Authority, which kind of marked the end of the golden age of comics. So with all that being said, let me first show you the complete collection of Marvel SOTI books. Ta-da! Done. There are none. Marvel was not mentioned in the Seduction of the Innocent, so there's nothing to show. However, DC actually was in there quite a bit, and it's actually a fairly good collection. So I'm going to start out with the raws, and I'm going to explain why they're in here each. Okay, the first one is Superman 55. This is it right here. And this one was mentioned in the Seduction of the Innocent because inside the story, there's a story where a police officer gets shot in the mouth with a water gun. And in the back, they have like ads for guns. So it's basically like encouraging kids to maybe potentially shoot people in a very dangerous way. So that was why it was featured in Seduction of the Innocent. And then we got this one. This is a Batman 64. And this one's kind of interesting. The reason Frederick Wortham had a real issue with the relationship between Batman and Robin. He kind of felt like it was a bit of a groomer, you know, that old man, young boy, bit of a homosexual relationship. And he wasn't the only one that had that feeling about Batman and Robin. So, you know, there was some, not just him who had that feeling about them. So they even introduced the character Batwoman in order to sort of quell that notion that there could be some gay relationship between Batman and Robin. But in this one, in particular, there's a scene where, you know, Batman sort of, instead of being interested in the women, he's more interested in Robin. And that is kind of weird. So, you know, there's two girls and, you know, they're both interested in Batman, but Batman sort of, you know, doesn't really respond to them. And instead he goes off with Dick Grayson. So, you know, kind of a weird, weird thing. So that was the reason this one was in the Seduction Innocent. And then there's another Batman that was in the Seduction Innocent. And again, this is one where Robin is getting rescued, kind of like the damsel in distress. This is Batman 67. And it's also a great Noose cover, just if you're looking for cool covers. So it's, again, damsel in distress, but it's Robin getting rescued. So Wortham kind of felt like there was a bit of, again, the homosexual relationship thing. And then we got another Batman. Oh, classic. Again, similar idea. Batman, this is Batman 53. And again, the same issue, that they're just the relationship between Batman and Robin. So it's kind of weird. So though, like, Batman kind of got that issue with Wortham. He didn't like Batman and Robin. Okay. And then we got, next one is Superboy. And this is mentioned in the Seduction Innocent because Superboy, he basically goes back in time and he helps George Washington, you know, achieve some victory. And it's kind of usurps American history. So he felt like that was kind of the rewriting of American history, and that was somehow, you know, corrupting youth in terms of their knowledge of history, and also, you know, corrupting American culture. So this is Superboy #2, kind of a key book. And it's also, actually, this book has another cool thing other than being a SOTI book. It is the first appearance, first time that Smallville is mentioned. And you can actually see right there, it says Smallville celebrates Superboy Day. And it's actually the first time that Smallville is mentioned. And it's kind of cool that it's mentioned on the cover of the book. So that was that one. And then we got Strange Adventures. So this one is Strange Adventures number 39. And it's kind of, a lot of people think that this is maybe a Gorilla Grodd kind of prototype as well. So kind of cool, because he's a kind of intelligent ape, just so you know. So kind of maybe a prototype as well. So that's the other key about this. But the reason this one was mentioned in Seduction Innocent is that what happened was in this story, and it's really debatable how, I don't know why, there's like so many other books that I could think of that are much more extreme. But this one, the reason it was mentioned is there's a scene where there's the court scene, you can see right there, and then the gorilla kind of escapes and leaves. And in the process, it kind of knocks over a cop. And Wortham felt that that was showing disrespect to police. That was it. So not really that serious, but I don't know, that was the reason it was mentioned. Okay, then we got, again, I almost forgot that this one. This is World's Finest, I believe it's 44. Oh, 1 second, is it 44 or 46? I can never see the number. I believe it's 44. Yeah, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, I think it's 44. Doesn't say. It says right there. You can see. You can see better than I can. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this one, again, it's the Batman and Robin relationship. Again, you know, Wortham felt like there was a bit of a hint of homosexuality. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, Robin is kind of wearing a bit of a gay outfit, but, but other than that, though I liked Robin as a kid, I thought it was Robin. I actually kind of related to Robin, and that's really the point of Robin, to be that relatable younger kid. So yeah, so, but this one was mentioned again for the same relationship issues that Batman had. So the Batman comics. So yeah, so World's Finest 44. And there's two more that are, and then so if you get all these books, you have the complete DC SOTI collection. The next one is Wonder Woman 49. And in this, Wortham felt like there was a lesbian relationship between Wonder Woman and one of the women inside of it. You know, a bit more than just friends kind of level. So he felt that it was suggestive of a lesbian relationship, and that's, you know, immoral. So this is Wonder Woman number 49. Kind of a cool book. Okay, and then we got, last but not least, Sensation Comics, 91, I believe. Or 81. 81, sorry, 81. This one was also mentioned in the Seduction Innocent for a different reason. In it, there's a scene where a guy basically says, foreigners, we should stop foreigners from stealing our jobs. And Wortham felt like that was xenophobic, plus, you know, kind of showed a hateful element to American society, which he felt it was not fair. So, yeah, so that's why this one was in Seduction Innocent. So yeah, so those are all of the Seduction Innocent books for DC. Everyone can give themselves a pat on the back. You all have the complete collection of Marvel SOTI books because there are none. So everybody has that, so it's pretty great. Next question comes from Master E, Low Grade King. Mr. E, or Master E. And he's a friend of the channel, actually. He basically asked about Headlight covers. And he said, you know, Headlight covers are where, you know, girls' boobs, kind of a little bit more out there, I guess. I don't know, sort of blinding you. I don't know. So Headlight covers. But he asked about the other side of the female anatomy, their butt. You know, what do you call like a butt cover? And, you know, a lot of people just say booty cover or something like that. But is there a term for a booty cover? And what I always called it this, like, because it's headlights, which is the, you know, the front of the woman. I always thought that it should be the rear, the tail lights for a booty cover. So that's my own personal thing. I'm not sure if there's an official term for booty covers or taillight covers, but but that's what I call them. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly go. So I was sorting through my comics, and you know, I actually brought down my SOTI collection as a separate thing. I didn't let the movers touch my SOTI collection. It was the only thing, one of the few things that I brought by, you know, myself from my comic collection. And so it was easy for me to at least access the SOTI books. So it was very convenient to have these questions because they were the books that I could access. So I wanted to just quickly show you a great booty or rear taillight cover, I should say. And that is Blue Beetle. And this is another SOTI book, number 54. And it's just a, you know, classic cover, Jack Kamen cover. So yeah, so that's my contribution to the taillight covers. But there are some really great ones. One of the ones that I think of whenever I think of taillight covers is Fistful of Blood. If you get issue number 1, it's a really great booty cover. Also the Spider Woman one where she's kind of crouched down. There's a couple of really great booty covers or taillight covers, but those are the ones I could think of. So that is it for this week's Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit sparse. There's no comic wall behind me or anything. This is filmed in like a really weird spot. But stay tuned. I will improve my situation and definitely get a better, better setup soon. And if you have questions, please put them in the comments below and I will get to them next week. So no delays this time. So it'll be next week you see the answers to those questions. So thanks again for watching and bye for now.